From an extra to an actor extraordinaire, Naseerudin Shah's journey has been a story and a half, and so worth writing, and I'm so glad that he's finally penned it himself. I am privileged to be in conversation with an actor that I not only revere, but who has been a great source of inspiration, and actually, without knowing, I think, you have selflessly helped me personally.
Bless you for saying that.
But let's come to the book first.
Yeah,
the thing that struck me most about the book was that it's very honest, it's soul-bearing, it's brutal. Almost starting from literally the beginning. So I've taken at random one page where you're talking about the film industry and the awards ceremony. Will you do me the honor just to read from the top of the page?
Around the top of this page?
Yeah. So he's talking about the award ceremonies in the film industry.
Right. Now, is this permissible on television, this kind of language? I did attend, and becoming privy to the machinations that go on behind the scenes, I began to loathe all competitive awards, particularly those which are an excuse for the film industry to indulge in its annual orgy of mutual off. I don't know how much you're going to beep out of this.
You are truthful and opinionated about everything in this book, and everyone, including yourself, from sex and drugs to anxiety and ambition. Have you always lived this openly, or is this something that you feel that you've earned now to be public about your thoughts?
When I started recalling these incidents and writing about them, I thought that I should write about them with as much accuracy as I can. Firstly, I must recall them with as much accuracy as I can and write about them in as engaging a manner as possible.
Have you lived this openly? Like, have you been able to tell filmmakers the things that you've said in this book?
I have,
in the
yes.
past and not just now?
Most of our filmmakers are perfectly happy to listen all night to praise, but point out one flaw and they stop listening. They just switch off. Almost without exception, I've found. And their excuse is, you're an actor, you don't understand.
You've also said very often that, you know, you were an unremarkable person, especially as a child, that you felt that no one wanted to listen to you except when you were on the stage. And that's why it was so easy for you to become these characters. It was a kind of wonderful escape. When did you, if at all, find yourself being comfortable and enjoying being just you?
I would say since my children arrived, and as recently as 10 to 15 years ago. Before that, I was a continuously ill-adjusted person. It's never overly bothered me what people think. I can't say I don't care about people's opinions. Of course I do. And of course when I receive a compliment, it feels good, and when I'm criticized, it hurts. But I've learned to listen more carefully to criticism than to praise.
You say you're not bothered about people, but this love of the audience that you feel, and you talk about it in intoxicating terms, and you seek it, and you've sought it most of your life, which is why you're here now. Do you still seek it, or at this stage in your life you're just going, audiences are fools because they're just, you know, endorsing all sorts of over-the-top commercial nonsense?
Let's differentiate between audiences and fans, so-called fans. A lot of people who claim to be fans have never seen 1 second of my work. A lot of people who claim to be fans are people who've been told by somebody else, hey, that's an actor. So I don't take that kind of adulation seriously for a second. I find it irritating, in fact, and intrusive to be asked to stop and pose for a photograph if I'm trying to check in at the counter, or if I'm trying to board a flight.
Are you rude then?
I'm not rude, but I do say no in most definite.
So you are rude. To a fan, that's heartbreaking.
Well, I guess if he was a fan, if he really cared for me, that's how I reason it, he would not intrude when he knows that I would rather be alone. But I love the moment when I'm on stage and in contact, in living, throbbing harmony with a living audience. There's nothing like it in the world. Movies cannot approximate.
Yeah, but this is the mystery that I just can't get my head around. So you talk about this exchange of energy between the audience and the actor that can only exist in theatre. And also, okay, let's be honest, drop-dead gorgeous looks. So what on earth attracted you to go into the industry that you kind of criticized?
It wasn't, my dream was not to be a part of the commercial industry in Bombay. My dream was to earn my living as an actor because I loved doing it. It was the only thing I was good at. A thing like Bahut Din Hue, which was the first movie I ever saw, is not in the same universe as The Wizard of Oz. Knowing I could never be a part of those because they were they were made in America, and God knows whether these people really existed. But just being these, and I always, when I did this pretending business, it was never Hindi movies that I pretended to be in. It was always the costume dramas or the swashbuckler Zorro and Lone Ranger.
But you're happy where you are.
I'm very happy where I am. And I know, I recognize the dreams that were reachable, and gradually I recognized that this one was. So Bombay is what I settled for.
So I'm going to blend your theatre world with some of your movie roles, and I'm going to give you a few lines of that you're familiar with, that you're going to do differently for me. So first we're going to start with Shylock, because that was your first ever performance on stage from Merchant of Venice.
Well, I don't need
so
to
just
consult.
Okay, so no, for the sake of the audience, would you do it just straight first? From I Am a Jew?
First, I'll do it the way I did it when I was in class 9.
Okay, go for it.
And what's the reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands? Organs, dimensions, affections, senses, passions, fed with the same food, etc., etc. That's how I did it. That's how most actors would do it, I guess, at that age.
How would you like
I think if I would
to
do it now, I'd do it more contemplatively. I think it would make it more vicious. And what is his reason? I am a Jew. Hath not a Jew eyes? Hath not a Jew hands? Organs? Dimensions? Affections? Senses? Passions? Fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winters and summers as a Christian is. Probably do it like that.
Now I want you to do it another way, which is, you are a flamboyant, drunken Surya from...
What's this, an acting workshop?
Yes. You are at NSD. What do you think? We're just going to let you go for free? This is my dream. I'm sitting with my idol, so please, I'm going to milk
Drunken
it.
what?
You're not drunken necessarily, a flamboyant Surya from Dirty Picture, and you are seducing Silk with these lines.
Oh, he wouldn't get to first base if he used these lines.
See, you have to make it. This is all you can say. This is all you're allowed to say.
I'm a Jew. Hath not a Jew? I suppose I do it.
No, come on. Nasir, sir, you can't.
Surya is gone, buried. He's in the past. I don't remember him.
You know, you're someone who claims that you're the happiest in your own company. What is it that you get from yourself that you don't get from anyone else?
I have conversations with myself. I'm grappling with a lot of issues regarding my work still. I have long ago come to the realization that there is no such thing as a perfect actor, and there is no such thing as a perfect performance. Perfect actor, perhaps only Charles Chaplin qualifies for that category, but he was different. I mean, he was sent by God to show all actors what is possible and what they'll never attain. So let's not include Chaplin in any list of actors, because he was unique. But there is, because if you were to give the perfect performance, then there'd be nothing left to do. And there can be no such thing, because tomorrow you may know a little more about this character.
And so every time you do it, it would be different.
Every time, and that's the joy of theatre, that no two performances are the same. At least no two performances should be the same. And I never ever go through a rehearsal in a mechanical way And I forbid my actors to go over their lines in this kind of manner. They should never do that. Because then they get into the habit of doing that. And they'll end up doing that in a show, in a rehearsal. Every single time an actor goes over his lines, they should be said with the pauses and the intonations that are required. And the intonations may change from reading to reading. And they do. And it's only when they do that you finally hit upon the best possibility. An actor feeling right about the part is not to be trusted. And the first instinct of an actor is not always right.
So we're talking about how someone who is so self-absorbed, which took me by surprise, that you're actually very romantic as well. And this happened, I didn't expect this out of you. I know most people don't, because, you know, you seem a bit idiosyncratic, set in your ways.
So there can be idiosyncratic romantic
And
people.
this is literally in the first, like before the book even starts, in your acknowledgements. It's some of the most romantic lines I've read.
To my wife?
To here. Do you know them by heart?
Oh, sure. And lastly, a big fat slobbery kiss to the jewel of my existence, Ratna, who, queen of hers. Actually, Ratna wrote this piece. Who, while doing so much else, has also steadfastly, through thick and thin, better and worse, for richer and for poorer, in sickness and in health, held my hand and propped me up for well nigh 40 years. May her tribe increase. Ratna wrote this.
Are you serious? Or you're just embarrassed?
No, I have absolutely no embarrassment about confessing it, because it's the truth. My life was a mess until she entered it.
So is this guilt or is this genuine feelings? Is this guilt towards someone who just put you back together in a lot of ways?
No, I really felt that I should say this, because I owe her this. She organized my life. It was a mess when I met her. I was a complete mess in every way. Financially, emotionally, I had no confidence in myself. I had no future. I didn't have any work. And that was the time of my life, and she agreed to share it. I mean, how can I not be affected by a thing like that?
Do you feel the same love
I still feel as strongly about it. When I think back on those days, I still feel the same, yeah. I think I've been very, very fortunate. She's been pretty fortunate as well. But I think I've been luckier.
Oh, that's so nice to hear that. Another aspect of your life, are you religious?
I think religions have done a lot of harm, a lot of damage. Probably it's the thing which has done the most damage in the world over history.
And continues to.
And continues to. So I'm not terribly aware of my identity as a Muslim either.
And India doesn't make you aware of that either.
It hasn't. At no point in my life have I felt this. It was only once during the riots in Bombay that a friend, so-called, suggested that maybe I should think of an alternative. And maybe I should remove my name from the nameplate in my building. So, well, I nearly kicked this guy out of my house for saying that. But I have never felt any strong Muslim identity, no, except for the fact that I speak Urdu, and it's the first language, it's my mother tongue, and I associate more with Shami kebabs than with
yeah, but that's got nothing to do with being Muslim.
It has something to do.
Can you take a break for me?
एक छोटा सा break लेते हैं.
English में.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
And now we are back, right? Now, most actors, when they watch themselves, they cringe at themselves, right? They're looking at themselves, unless you're a non-actor and just going, wow, I look beautiful. Most actors are looking at all the flaws and stuff. But I saw you on a TV show looking at reels of your own work, and there was such rapt wonder in your eyes. And all I wanted to know is, what were you thinking? What were you feeling at that moment?
When was this? I don't quite
This was
recall.
in Farooq Saab's show.
Oh, Farooq.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so many things happened on that show which hit me very hard. Firstly, my son's turning up from school without permission which was great, and I didn't know though they were there from the night before. And my first mentor, Cedric Fernandez, they produced him out of thin air. I thought he was dead. And so when they were playing bits of Ghalib, which is a work I'm very deeply attached to, and these were all very beautifully selected bits. So I was actually quite, and I was saying, hey, that guy's quite good, actually.
You're proud of yourself.
Yeah, I was.
So I have a little present for you here, which is, because you have often talked about the mirror being a best buddy of yours.
I have to take that home with me?
No, I wish you could. You could ask NST if you can take it home. But I wonder what you see when you look back. Who's the man who looks back, and has it changed over the years?
You know, it's funny. At times, it's like the mirror of Erised in Harry Potter. I'm not a Harry Potter fan. It's the only one book I've read where there was a mirror of Erised. And one day I think I was a little bit in the clouds at that time. And I was looking at myself, and when I saw my dad, I actually saw him, yeah.
You were a bit in the clouds.
I was in the clouds. But over the years, I've realized how much like him I sound at times. When I cough or sneeze or when I've just woken up, and it's funny.
Is that disturbing?
And I'm afraid, huh?
Is that disturbing? Because you had a fraught and sort of uncommunicated relationship with him.
It's disturbing. It seems like I'm a medium and he's entered me. And at times I do have found myself behaving a bit like him, which I'm not very proud of with regard to my own children. Ooh, that happens.
I've got this mirror here for a reason, although you're going to pretend that the camera is the mirror because you're an actor, so you can do that kind of thing.
You're going to ask me to start. I'm going to start charging you money now.
Please do.
To act.
I'll pay you lots of money.
Where's the money? Show me the money.
Tell me this, is money and fame a motivator?
Absolutely.
So you're going to become very famous
money
and very rich. There's going to be a tub full of money. Throw the notes.
I want piles of it. All
dollars, forget rupees, right? We've got it all straight after the show.
I want to stuff my pillow
deliver.
with it. I want to stuff my mattress with it.
Done.
Yeah.
And your shoes, and you won't know what to do with it. But then you got to deliver, okay? Only 3 emotions I'm giving you. You can do it.
Oh, no, come on.
Come on.
Joking around with acting is not my field. You should ask Baman Irani to do this. Or Johnny Lever.
Okay, then moving swiftly on, let's talk about the clouds that you have been in. There are a lot of creative geniuses who've dabbled in drugs. Now, you also have openly talked about LSD and marijuana. I know you don't propagate it, so let's be clear about that. But do you feel that these mind-altering substances actually give you access and open up your mind to alternate realities?
I'd say they can work for certain people. I don't sell it either in case the narcotics department is getting ready to come over. I think it works for certain people. The fact is, it is used as medication in homeopathy. That's a fact.
Have any of these things ever fed into your acting and your creative process?
Well, according to Stardust magazine...
And of course, they know everything.
They know it all.
Yeah.
It was the reason behind my intense performances. And some paparazzi got a hold of a photograph of somewhere where I was lighting a joint or something, and they published it, and they said, this is why he acts so well.
Have you ever been tripping on shot?
While working? No. No.
We'll never know.
No, work and they're separate.
Now, I don't normally ask actors this question about how they choose roles, because 90% of the time you're basically picking the best of whatever you're getting, right? But with you, the choices have been very eclectic. I mean, how does the same actor do Par, Hero Hira Lal, Jalwa to Jackpot? I mean, what possessed you?
If I see a glimmer of this character within myself, then I do the part. If I don't, I don't. So that's what I'm after, I suppose. The purpose is not to be different in every role. I don't think there's anything wrong if an actor is delivering the same performance each time, provided he is conveying what the writer wants to convey. There's nothing wrong with that. An actor doesn't have to be drastically different from one performance to another, unrecognizable. You can't do that. You can't be unrecognizable. What you can do is to search within yourself of aspects of yourself which tally with this person that you are asked to play.
And you just said something which is contrary to the way the industry works, which is that an actor should just be a vessel, an instrument for the writer or the director to convey. He doesn't have to be
the center of
larger everything. But here the actor is king, right? At least in the film industry. So how do you survive in an industry which is
you see, fate has been very kind by not making me a star. I get work.
Did you ever want to be a star? Did you believe that you would be like a huge...
I didn't believe I would be, but of course I wanted to. Who doesn't want to be? Everybody wants to be a star.
So that's the truth.
Yeah. But I felt I wouldn't make it in Hindi movies as a star. And
Why?
sure enough, because there's completely different requirements of acting from that kind of thing. And as I've written in the book, that in those movies, your references are not to be from life. They have to be from other films.
I know how you've broken down Sholay.
There's no connection to reality, There's no connection to reality, so don't try to be real in those movies. You've got to be attractive. That's the big mistake I made, and which is why I was no good in those films.
Can you not play that? Can you not play just being attractive? Can you not play being unreal? Wouldn't that
not unless you deeply believe in it. And I didn't. I mean, the self-doubts have always assailed me. People like Bachchan or Dilip Kumar have got that unshakable belief in themselves and that completely, what shall I call it, narcissistic belief in themselves, total self-belief. I don't. I'm still
Even
plagued.
now?
Yeah, I'm still plagued by doubts about many things, except when I'm on stage.
So on a closing note, you have led a blessed life, right?
Yeah.
You've almost every dream has come to fruition.
Yeah.
What's been the key factor? Like talent, luck, hard work, acting, being at the right place, timing? What would you say would be the key factor? Of course, all of it comes together.
I suppose you could call it luck, because I think I was lucky to hit upon my vocation when I was very, very young. Nobody guided me to it. I didn't confess it to anybody. I didn't share it with anybody. But I had decided unshakably that this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And nothing is going to change my mind. I don't think I can take credit for it.
So that's conviction.
It's, yeah, well, but it was luck that it happened. So luck, as I said, is many things. You can't, the word luck is not sufficient to describe,
But from what you're describing, that's conviction. That's like determination and conviction. I'm going to get there and I'll get there.
But it was sheer luck that this play competition happened in school. Sheer luck that I happened to have seen Mr. Kendall play Shylock. And sheer luck that I remembered it and did it and pulled it off and changed my life.
And sheer luck that you came and sat with me in this hot hole of a sweatbox in NSD. And thank you very much. But before you go, someone please give me a pen. I need my personal copy signed, because I don't want to meet you at an airport and be told off
All right.
that don't bother me.